Crimes and Misdemeanors. Whoa. This movie is basically about two guys, and their lives kind of parallel each other, but at the same time, they're very, very different people. So, Cliff is this aspiring documentary filmmaker, and he's so nice and sweet, but his marriage is falling apart because, I don't know. That's what the movie's about. Judah, however, is this really successful eye doctor with a great marriage, great kids. He's got everything going for him, except that his mistress is like, I want to talk to your wife. So he decides to kill his mistress. So he hires some mafia people, and they're like, so Dolores dies, and Judah has a whole existential crisis, and that's the end of his story, basically. Judah is utilitarian because he is motivated by happiness, both his own and his family's. He decides to kill his mistress mostly because he does not want to deal with telling his wife about the affair. So he puts the happiness of his family, his patients, and his friends over the happiness of his mistress, which is why he ends up killing her. And then he has this whole existential crisis. But at the end scene, he's okay. Because he realizes that he's basically gotten away with it scot-free, and happiness is the thing he wants most, so he's gonna be happy. Clifford is kind of a putz, and I say that in the nicest way. I feel like his character's supposed to be a putz. The things he does do are very slight and minor things, but I feel like from those things we can tell that he's a Kantian. The main thing that makes me think he's a Kantian is that he takes a job that he knows he's going to hate with a person who he knows he dislikes because he wants the money so he can make a documentary about this philosopher dude. I don't remember his name. He's a philosopher. He doesn't actually have a physical affair, even though he wants one. He doesn't quit his job. He's fired from it. The first time he actually rebels, he makes a fake documentary where he actually shows the guy doing what he does, which is honest. He makes reasonable choices, which is why I think he's Kantian. His right choices are because they are reasonable. And otherwise he doesn't really do anything immoral. So, at the end scene, Clifford and Judah finally meet, and they have this really huge conversation where they're like, and so Judah's like, hey, let me tell you the story about this guy who murders someone and then got away with it scot-free. What do you think about it? And Clifford's just like, dude, well, there is moral. There has to be a moral comeuppance for this guy. And Judah's like, no, there doesn't. And they have this thing where they go, well, are there morals? Their stories parallel very well in that Judah does stuff based on what he wants and then has a moral existential crisis where he goes, what is this? Why am I getting away with this stuff? How can I do these things and then not have anything bad happen to me? I was told bad stuff would happen to me. I was told lightning would hit me and I would feel horrible. But his only real punishment is feeling awful about it for a few months. And he's like, I'm feeling better now. Life goes on. No skin off my nose. While Clifford doesn't do anything, even though he wants to. And you can tell he wants to. He proposes to Haley and she goes, nah. He otherwise doesn't really do much, even though he wants to. And when he does do stuff, he's punished for very small things. I think the main story of this movie is two men who, one has to deal with the moral consequences of his actions, and the other has to deal with the moral consequences of his indecisiveness. I don't really know how to end this video. In many ways, I feel like I should end it the same way the movie did and be like, hey, let me tell you the story of everything that just happened in this video. And then end off with a really random quote at the end. Yeah, let's not do that.